Okay, so now this video is going to show you if you want to use some kind of grid to help you draw out your image onto your canvas from the photo, having some kind of grid to help you with proportions. This is how you can do it on your iPad. So if you see on the bottom here, this app called Grid, it's a green G. You should be able to find it in your student resources where you can download different apps. It should be available to all students. So download this app first, and then once it's available, you can click on it. Yours will open up starting blank. But then up in the upper right-hand corner, there is a camera. You might have to give it the OK to access your photos, and then select the photo that you already have edited, which I already did, and it will show up on your screen. And then in the upper left-hand corner where you see these different bars with the dots on it, click on that, and this is where you can make your settings for how many rows, columns you have within your grid. So I think for most of your designs, it might be helpful to just break it up into 2 rows, 2 columns. So it's kind of broken up into quarters. If I wanted to do something really detailed, I could do like 8 rows, 8 columns, or give it more, so then it's broken up into smaller pieces. However, we're not drawing out self-portraits like you did in Art Foundations, where you need to be really specific with all of that. I think that would just be overwhelming, especially as a painting. You oftentimes don't want that much pencil line drawn in. You're going to kind of figure it out as you start with painting, and oftentimes you're also painting over your lines as you go. So you want just enough to kind of help make sure you're keeping everything in relative proportion. So I would recommend going 2 rows and 2 columns. And then for the grid colors, if you have them all moved all the way over, the color of the grid is going to be white. So if your image is really light and it's hard to see, I could turn these all the way down, and then my grid would be black. So whatever you prefer. I'm going to keep mine white. And then the line width here is how thick are your grid lines. So you can kind of see behind a width of 2 is this thin. I don't want it covering up a lot of my design, so I'm going to keep it there. You can make it thicker if it's hard for you to see. And then I'm going to hit the Save button up in the upper left corner here. And that's already what I have, so it looks the same. But now I can use this as long as, my canvas is now proportioned the same way. I did the 4 by 3 inch, so my canvas is going to be 8 inches by 6 inches. And if I break my canvas up into quarters, I'm able to see about where I should draw each of these little succulent leaves. So now to be able to save this to my images, so I don't always have to open up this app, I can save it to the camera roll. So with my finger, I just press down on the photo, and then this should come up, and I just say Save Grid and Image. Would like to add to your photos. Okay.
What if we could loop ourselves?
And then I'll go to my photos. And there it is. Voila. Hope this helps.